welcome back to Snack Size Wellness. Today we are talking all about fiber. Fiber doesn't get enough credit. You might have seen people talking about it online, but without the steps or context, it's really hard to put in action, right? In reality, fiber is one of the most important tools we have to better our health, reduce our risk of serious disease, and just feel better, okay? In this episode, we're breaking down what fiber actually does for your body, how it helps digestion, blood sugar, and energy, how colon cancer is rising, and how to fix that by how you can incorporate sources of fiber in your meals and what are sources of fiber. Hi, my name is Alex. I am a certified nutritionist, full-time dietetic student, and toddler mom. That's all to say I am very busy because I am also now a full-time podcaster. I care a lot about making health realistic, okay? I started this podcast because I'm really passionate about health and I want to make it accessible and easy for you to be healthier and make healthy choices that are in your control and make those like super simple so you can incorporate them in your busy life too. Today, hopefully, if all goes well, there will be a video accompanying this podcast that you can watch on YouTube for certain and possibly other podcasting platforms. I will say this is probably one of the worst videos setups situations I've ever done. I tried to film it outside and my internet connection disappeared and I had everyone in the neighborhood staring at me, like literally stopping in their tracks and staring at me, and it was very humbling, okay? And not an experience I would like to do again. We work with what we got and I hope you guys don't just absolutely hate it because this is all I have. All right, let's get into the dang episode already. Now, what is fiber? What does it actually do? Fiber is part of plant-based food that your body can't digest. This might sound counterintuitive, but this helps keep digestion regular and helps prevent constipation, feeds your gut bacteria, which are essential for everything from mood to immunity, slows down the absorption of carbohydrates, which keeps your blood sugar stable and prevents energy crashes, helps you feel fuller between meals, which can make it easier to manage appetite or reduce mindless snacking, helps lower cholesterol levels and supports heart health. And a real big one, it helps reduce the risk of developing colon cancer. Despite all of those amazing things, most people are not getting enough fiber. The USDA and the National Institute of Health estimate that the average American is getting 10 to 15 grams of fiber per day, while the recommendation is 25 grams for women and 35 grams for men per day. Why should you care about colon cancer? Why am I talking about this? Why is this important? Why do I bring this up anytime that I get the opportunity? Well, here are the really shocking stats, okay? Colon cancer is now the leading cause of cancer death in men under 50, and the second leading cause of cancer death in women under 50 in the United States. This is a really big shift because previously we thought that colon cancer only really affected people over 60. Now younger adults in their 30s and 40s are being diagnosed more often. There is a couple of possible factors in why. They could be being screened more often, which means that we're catching it. It's not that people didn't have it, it's just we didn't know about it. But a lot of the research shows that it's linked to diets in low fiber and high in ultra processed foods. Think like fast foods or very cheap, easy foods that doesn't have a lot of vegetables in them, okay? Also a sedentary lifestyle, chronic inflammation, and disruptions in gut health. The good news is fiber is one of the strongest factors to lower colon cancer. Now here's the nutrition-y part of it. A high fiber diet helps move waste through the colon faster, reducing the time that the potential carcinogen stays in your digestive tract. It also helps the bacteria in your gut that keep inflammation low and protect the colon lining, okay? So some signs that you need more fiber, all right? If you're not sure, or if you don't use one of those calorie tracker apps, you might not know your average fiber intake. Here's some body signals that you can use to gauge. Soon after eating, even after you've had a big meal, you have energy crashes midday, your diet is low in fruits and vegetables, or you aren't eating that many whole foods, meaning you're eating more packaged and processed foods. It's a really hard thing to kind of describe because processed foods has a different definition to a lot of different people, but our healthcare system in the United States needs a lot of work right now. And we will talk about that in a deeper episode. But if you don't eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, then we're going to need to talk. This is so incredibly important because fiber is one of those things that is cheaper in the long run for your health that can make a really big impact for you. The people who are going to benefit this the most are going to be the ones that are thinking, I can't afford to have colon cancer, okay? So if that is you, you need to do some things that suck sometimes in order to be around when you're 80, okay? And to have a better life, or to give your kids a better life, because we all say we would do anything for our kids. Well, would you get healthy for your kids? Would you eat broccoli for your kids? You know? So yeah. All right, off my soapbox. Let's talk about how normal ways you can include fiber into your diet, okay? So first, some swaps for you would be doing a whole grain bread or a whole grain tortilla instead of your regular. Now, the Carb Smart ones are delicious, but we buy fresh made tortillas, and I would like to start making sourdough again when we move. So take what you want where you want it, all right? This is just one example. If you don't like eating broccoli, like clearly we do, then you take these ideas and figure out how to translate them into your life. As always, there's going to be a full list of fiber sources and how many grams of fiber they have for one serving for you to look at on the Substack Snack Size Wellness, and you can get a better overall idea of how you can include these into your life, okay? I always like to go with the what can I add principle, so I'm not disrupting my routine, right? I'm adding to it, and it just takes an extra 5 seconds to do a little something extra, and maybe it's fun. Maybe I make it fun, okay? So to your oatmeal and yogurt, you could add flaxseed, hemp seed, chia seed. I will warn you about hemp seed though. Some of those will flag on drug tests. So if you have really strict drug tests at your work, wouldn't recommend that. But you can add flaxseed and chia seed to salad dressings, or again, oatmeal yogurt. You won't notice them too much. We're going to talk about supplements in a minute, but for a really cheap way of adding in fiber, you can do chia seeds and grind them up so it's like chia powder, and then do like, I think a tablespoon of that would give you around 6 grams of fiber, and add that into like a protein shake or oatmeal or something like that, and you won't notice a difference at all. Might make it a little thicker. That's the only difference. All right, you can also add fruit with skin on it, so I think apples, pears, stuff like that. To beef things up, you can, like literally and figuratively, you can add lentils to your meats, and that will not only extend how much meat you have, like taco meat, let's say, add lentils in there. The lentils will take on the flavor, and then you have like twice as much taco meat, and it'll save and freeze and all of that stuff just like normal taco meat would. Adding in beans to things is also fantastic. I love doing a dense bean salad. It's one of my favorites. Also, if you have been on my pasta salad journey with me on Instagram, I absolutely love pasta salad, and switching out regular pasta for higher protein pasta, those usually have more fiber in them because they are made out of a bean or something like that. That's a plant-based protein to help them be shelf stable, and just it's hard to mimic the texture of wheat. I love frozen steamer vegetables. You can get those just about anywhere. And recently, since we're trying to eat all of our food before we move, I have been buying the like pre-sauced ones to see if I like those, and they've been pretty good so far, so I'm pretty happy about that. If you are like, you don't have a lot of things to make different flavors and buy the plain ones, then you can get the pre-sauced ones and you won't need anything, salt, pepper, nothing. You can also get creative with your veggies. I like doing stuff in the air fryer or roasting them, or just finding different ways to eat veggies. One of my favorite ways is pico de gallo. I will put that on everything, and we make pico de gallo constantly because it's so good. And my husband this summer has been in the search of the perfect salsa recipe, and he's been trying to hone in, and like, you know, he'll make a salsa and then he'll tweak it and then remake it and then keep doing that and that till we find the perfect salsa recipe, and I will share it with you. You can also try switching up your grains. I know that people talk about brown rice. It's like got 1 more gram of fiber in it than white rice does, so I don't really care between the two. If you pick brown rice or white rice, pick the rice that you like to eat. But there are other grains other than rice as well, like barley and quinoa have, I don't know if they have higher off the top of my head, but they have fiber in them as well. And some snack ideas. Popcorn, absolutely love popcorns. I buy the like mini bags, and it makes like 6 cups of popcorn-ish. And that's my favorite, and I can eat one of those or share one of those. Just depends on how I'm feeling or how hungry I am. Surprisingly, raspberries have 8 grams. Not everybody's out here eating cups of raspberries, I guess, except our toddlers, but you know, that's up to you. Roasted chickpeas used to be a really big trend that has a ton in them, but honestly, I'm not into that. If that's for you, then there are a ton of different flavors that you could do for roasted chickpeas to make them taste really good. If you need something like more shelf stable and not something that relies on being fresh, almonds or like trail mix, nuts and dried fruit are really good sources of fiber. They are very calorie dense because of the nature of, like, nuts have oils and proteins and carbs, and they're a very high dense food. I would highly recommend getting single serving portions of those, or portioning it out yourself so you're not just sitting there eating a whole tub of trail mix, because that's a lot for anybody to handle. I would recommend adding about like 5 grams of protein, doing one thing each week to increase your fiber to the 25 or 38 that you need, okay? Make sure you're drinking plenty of water and take it slow, and it's a journey. Enjoy it, okay? If you don't like this vegetable, try a different vegetable. If you never had lentils, try lentils. If you don't like them, don't get them again. Cool? Okay, so what about fiber supplements? What are they? Are they worth anything? It's better to get your fiber from food, all right? But you can get supplements like Metamucil and Benefiber that can help you in certain situations. I love Benefiber because it's like tasteless and odorless, and Metamucil, I've only had the one that has like orange flavor in it. These are fantastic to help you hit your goals if you're having trouble increasing your fiber or eating that much fiber. Adding in some Benefiber can definitely help. I like to make myself a little like hydration cocktail every day where it's like water flavor and benefiber and like whatever else I need. I started doing this when I was pregnant, when I used to take a whole bunch of supplements for different things like constipation and all kinds of stuff. And so it's become something that I really enjoyed. You're not going to be able to reach your fiber goal by fiber supplements alone, because typically a serving of one of these fiber supplements have anywhere from 3 to 6 grams. They don't have the same benefit as whole foods because they don't have the same micronutrients. They're just psyllium husk. All right, your homework. What are you going to do today? Okay, you're going to add in a vegetable to one of your meals. If you don't already have a vegetable in like dinner or something like that you're going to cook later, stop at the grocery store really quick on your way home and pick one of those freezer steamer bags. They have a ton of them. There are different brands in various costs, and pick the one that you think everybody will eat. I know I'm adding more things to your plate. If you like to snack on something savory after your kids go to bed, highly suggest reaching for popcorn instead of something like chips. If you have yogurt or oatmeal throughout the day, at any time of the day, add little chia seeds in there. Do a parfait and add your berries and yogurt and chia seeds, and you've got a delicious, amazing meal. I really want you to focus on how you can add things into your day instead of taking something away. That's always going to be the goal, because when we add things, we're not focusing on what we're missing out, we're focusing on what we can do. And that's going to put you in a way better mind space than if you are constantly restricting. All right, so fiber doesn't sound sexy, but it matters a lot. It helps with energy and digestion and blood sugar and fullness. Keeps your gut bacteria happy. It's one of the few things that you can do to lower colon cancer. And now you know how. You don't need to overhaul your life. Just start somewhere. One bean, one apple, one swap at a time. Next week, I'm so excited. We are talking about hobbies and why you need them. It's gonna be so fun. In the description, all of the sources for some of the stats and more nutrition-y stuff that I talked about will be there. Share this with someone who is an adult, usually a man, who picks vegetables off their plate and doesn't eat them, or never eats a vegetable, and tell them to be scared about colon cancer. Okay? I will talk to you next week. Bye.